14th Street. You'll see the existing quick stop service station. That is not part of the project site, but the project does share a driveway access to this project as well as the quick stop site. This is a view looking north. Again, Ellis Lake to your left, and you can see the existing curb cut where Nicole's pointing the arrow. That's an existing curb cut that's going to remain. That is going to provide access to this site as well as also the existing service station. This is a site plan of the project. You can see 14th Street to the left, 12th Street to the right, B Street to the bottom, and then the railroad right-of-way is to the top. The hotel is on the north portion of the project. The quick serve Starbucks is in the center of the project. And then retail or market is on the south side or the left side of the project. While you've got the site plan, I would indicate that they're going to use the existing curb cuts that are already in place, the 13th Street entrance and the driveway entrance off of next to the quick serve. As such, Caltrans encroachment permits will not be required for the development of the site. You can see this cross-hashed area between 13th. That is a potential future right-of-way take for the Caltrans right-of-way. As you can see, I wanted to point out.
Pardon me. What are you talking about there?
Can you show the crosshatch area, Nicole? See, it's on the frontage of B Street.
Oh,
see that crosshatch area?
No, that's fine because the pointer was going up and down through the middle, and I was confused. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, watch what you're pointing at over there.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're paying attention, so that's and then I lost my place. Okay. The existing utilities go through the former Chestnut right-of-way, which is sort of in the middle of the site. Some of the utilities are going to have to be relocated to accommodate the market because the market sits right on that right-of-way. So all your underground, your overhead, a portion of them are going to have to be relocated to accommodate the project. The loading and unloading area for the market is to the rear of the site, so it'll be largely concealed from public view up against the railroad right-of-way. The project provides 259 parking stalls where only 231 are required. You can see it's very logically oriented. The parking fields for the hotel are fairly obvious. The drive-through and circulation and parking for the quick serve restaurant, and then you can see the grocery market with a ample parking field in front of the store. If you see the shaded parking stalls to the rear of the hotel, and then the ones with the kind of the signet, those are all EV ready or EV capable parking stalls. And under the California Green Code, the project is required to provide a certain number. This project actually exceeds the number of required EV capable stalls on the project. Okay, you can go to those are just the talking points I just talked about. So you can go to the next slide.
Can you go back to the hotel?
Okay.
Now, is it
the one that we skipped over?
The pretty picture. Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is what it looks like.
This is a view if you were going north on Highway 70 B Street. This is what you'd see. The event center is in the far lower portion. I got a slide of that.
Is the design prescribed by Hyatt?
I think it's a standard. It's a standard prototype.
No,
I think it's.
Don't have a problem with that. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think it's a prototype by Hyatt. They did do some things unique to this because of the event center, which are unique to the Marysville site. They did brick wainscoting on the.
I wanted to compliment you. I think it's very attractive.
Right. Okay. You want to go to the. Okay, so part of your use permit is approving the drive-through lane. Now, I know I'm showing the drive-through lane. There will actually be landscaping and screening from the public view from B Street, so you'll never really see this view. This just shows you how it's oriented from B Street. In the zoning code, you actually have drive-through performance standards, and those are also findings in your resolution. The project meets or exceeds all the performance standards for drive-through. It meets the queuing length. The entry to the queue is very deep within the project site, so there's not going to be any on-site conflicts.
Is it a pure drive-through?
Is it a what drive-through?
Is it a no? Oh, so
no, it's
so
a cafe.
people can come inside, sit down.
It's not just there's sit down coffee. There's drive-through and a sit-down Starbucks.
So that could be attractive to the hotel then.
Right. In fact, I believe, well, you can let the applicant talk to that, but the hotel does like the idea of that.
I'd like to add, I had a conversation with Mr. Engstrom about this, and I was wondering about the selection and what have you. I didn't have terrible concerns or anything like that. I was just curious. And he said Hyatt wanted a nationally recognized brand in that location. And my immediate response was, whatever Hyatt wants, I want.
Okay. Anyways, point of this, the use permit for the drive-through, it meets all the performance standards. The exits within the project, not onto a public street, and there are no I think the nearest drive-through is the Dutch Bros that was approved.
And you're saying that there's something that blocks? What about?
I can go back to the site plan if you want me to show you the
landscape. No, because I'll tell you what, the Dutch Brothers down the street, yeah. I live across the lake from these projects. And the Dutch Brothers, I mean, the 12th Street traffic, people turning from 12th on, I get the headlights in my eyes all the time. Yeah. And so that's a nice feature to have that. Well, why doesn't Dutch Brothers have it?
There's going to be landscaping. There's also a condition of approval that there has to be landscaping and screening, so entering traffic is not hitting the drive-through.
A resident
headlights.
Design expert has told me that the landscaping is growing.
Okay. All right. Why don't we go to the design review on the hotel slide? Okay. So this is the view from B Street. You can see it's a modern design. The base will have a bricks wainscoting. That's actually where Nicole has the arrow is the event center, which is for civic and social events. And again, this is the design review discussion. It's a combination of cement and cement board plaster. Again, it has brick wainscoting. It's compatible with nearby buildings. There aren't really any historic buildings in immediate proximity of the site. And it meets the...
Well, the building across 14th Street, the Yuba Market, at least when it was built, had a modern look and still, I mean, they fit.
Is that the dollar store that has the tall...
Well, it used to be the Yuba Market.
Okay. Okay. All right. Why don't you go to the next slide? This is the Starbucks. Again, you can see it's a very similar modern design. It actually looks very similar in design to the Starbucks that was on 10th Street. This is actually going to be set back about 70 feet from B Street. It's got dark off gray tones. It's got an Eldorado stone wainscoting. Again, it's compatible with the kind of modern look of all the buildings on the site. And why don't you go to the next one, too? Okay, this is the... okay. Yes, it is. Well, I'm talking about just exterior aesthetics. Yeah, this has a sit down. It's a full Starbucks. It has drive-through. It has sit-down cafe. You can go and bring your laptop in there and hang out. Okay. All right. Why don't you go to the next one? This is a grocery market. Again, this is substantially set back from B Street so that the parking field is obvious. Again, cement plaster. It has a kind of a split concrete block wainscot. It does have a red accent that is not technically consistent with the adopted historic district colors, but at least in staff's opinion, it provides kind of a nice accent and relief. And the architecture is very compatible with
Have you suggested terracotta? Tell me, this grocery outlet is what's being considered. Those are franchises, are they not?
Grocery outlet is a franchise. I'm not sure did you document? I wasn't aware.
No, I don't want to. If you don't have the information, I'm just curious if you know about the operator yet. I know the one over in Yuba City is very highly regarded. I was just curious. And I'm not pitching him. I don't know.
They're actually referred to as independent operators. So you have the mothership that provides all of the back support, which is the corporate, and then you have an operator. So a little different than a franchise.
It's a Chick-fil-A model.
Not familiar with it, but it's been proven quite successful for all these years.
Thank you. Terracotta.
Okay, you can hit the next one, Nicole. Okay, this is a handout of the historic color palette that staff gives out, but there is a huge color wheel or fan of Benjamin Moore paint colors, but you can see the colors are very compatible with what the applicant's proposing. In terms of California Environmental Quality Act, because this project is under 5 acres and it was a previously developed site, it qualifies for a categorical exemption. It meets the general plan, meets the zoning, it's less than 5 acres, it's adequately served by existing utilities, and it meets all the criteria of the exception under CEQA. At the Planning Commission meeting, we did get some testimony about air quality related to the drive-through. You can go to the next one. And based on that, the applicant commissioned an air quality model. I guess the important thing is that you can see this is estimated air quality emissions both during construction and operation. If you go down and look at the operational threshold, those are the thresholds by Feather River Air Quality Management. 25 pounds a day for nitrous oxide, 25 pounds a day for reactive organic gases, and I think it's 80 pounds a day for particulate matter. The project is substantially below all those thresholds.
And you actually felt compelled to commission a study?
It got raised. It did meet the CEQA categorical exemption, and in discussions with the applicant, we felt because it got raised with the Planning Commission, it was prudent to go ahead and do the report.
There are some people who won't be happy until we're all on bicycles.
To the chair.
Anyways, that brings me to the conclusion of this report. The Planning Commission did unanimously recommend approval of all 3 of the entitlements: development plan, use permit, and design review. They did require an upgrade to the south elevation of the retail market building. Essentially what they required was the architecture detailing that's on the north and west face be carried along the south facing 12th Street. And they also did upgrade the Feather River Air Quality Management District best management practices, and that is reflected in Condition 19 of the proposed resolution before the Council. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I think Kathy Peace is also on the phone if you have any environmental related questions.
Do we have any questions? Well, let's see. Let's open the public hearing. Public hearing's now open. Anything from the public, Madam Clerk?
No speakers tonight, Mayor.
Public hearing's closed. Now we can have questions and answers.
So, Mr. Mayor, we do have some comments from the principals.
Well, no, that's what we're looking for.
That's great. And then, but before I pass on the baton, I've been working with Callie Huff for 2 years, and I didn't properly introduce her. So I'd like to properly introduce Callie Huff, who's their environmental manager for Engstrom Properties, and then also Deborah, the architect for this. These are not the assistants; these are the primary people here. So I apologize for that. But with that, who would like to speak first? Oh, great! Come on up.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Great to see you again. Guneet Bajwa, Presidio Hotels. Well, it's been a bit since we last met. The world changed a little bit, but at Presidio, we've been very busy. And I'm so excited. I mean, I wish we could have the slide for the hotel. We've been busy. We Hyatt came out with a product called Hyatt Studios, which I felt was just the right product for this location. It has all suites, it has kitchenettes in it, and as soon as it came out, I was the first franchise agreement for Hyatt for the Hyatt Studios. Although Alabama has beaten us in coming out of the ground, I guess the entitlements are easier in Alabama. No CEQA. But, a little disappointed, but very excited to be here. The brand is excited to be here. In fact, they did a huge press release on City of Marysville. We're very grateful and privileged to be part of your city, and we want to be part of the revitalization. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you give us a sense of what's your anticipated timeline?
If all goes well, we want to hit the ground late fall this year. We feel, just to have a direct conversation, it's all a little interest rate dependent, but the back half of this year shows the interest rates are coming down. We want to take the next 4 months to develop the construction drawings, go through the plan check permit process, and puts us in the right place at the right time, end of the year to break ground. That's the intent, that's the plan. So we want to be open by 26.
So just when we come up on the rainy season, you're going to try to do the
we'll do site work when it's muddy.
You have thought about that, haven't you?
No, we have. Obviously these things move. We have a very capable GC, Descor. They were part of the RFP process. And so we will time it. It's a little bit of a, guessing game right now, but, hopefully it's a La Nina or El Nino year. Maybe it's dry. But we don't
want dry. We're farmers in this area.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't say that. That is our goal, is to expedite as fast as possible. We have another project in Yosemite, and we want to bunch them up together. It's a Hyatt place in Mariposa. So we want to start both of them together.
Well, no, that's important to manage expectations. Frankly, I had been expecting groundbreaking in spring, and so I've been reset.
It might be, your wish might come true. We might be doing it in spring. See how it goes.
So what you're you're saying it's interest rate driven.
It is definitely capital markets driven. The good thing going for rural communities is that there are other avenues rather than just traditional financing, like BNI loan, SBA loan, which makes the cost of debt cheaper than you would traditionally do in, say, a city like Sacramento. So that's available. Marysville is available in Mariposa. So we feel quite comfortable. We have engaged a global firm called JLL to go find the financing, and they've already started the process. But it's all dependent on getting the entitlements done, construction drawings done, GMP framed, and then so a lot of things have to happen before we break ground. But we feel very positive about it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Mark.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Mark Engstrom with Engstrom Properties, and I'm honored to be here. We embarked on this 2 years ago, and here we are, the tail end of our entitlement. So thank you for being patient with us. I would like to further expand a little bit on the scope of work and kind of the sequencing here that we've been talking about. As you may or may not know, there used to be a street that bifurcated this entire site. And so all of those utilities are still underneath there. Even though it appears as though it's one large parcel, it's really two blocks. And all of those utilities need to be moved. And our preliminary cost estimates are well in excess of $2 million so you're going to see thank you. You'll see about 6 months worth of major excavation and site work that's going to occur prior to the start of the building foundations. The other thing that we've incurred is a 1911 map that shows the lake that used to sit where this parcel was. And all of that soil has to be re-excavated and recompacted. And so these are some of the things that we've uncovered here recently as part of we're past our due diligence and we're into our design stage of this. So Plan on about 6 months of major excavation, utility work, undergrounding of utilities, and then we'll be starting on the foundation. But our team is doing the commercial, the market, as well as the Starbucks, working concurrently in conjunction with Gunit, who's doing the hotel, and our goal is, to be open by the end of next year. So,
Gunit, I understand that you still plan on being an owner-operator?
Yeah, absolutely. Hotels typically usually have third-party management companies operate the day-to-day, and then we asset manage them. So we are engaged with Aimbridge Hospitality, which is the largest management company on the planet, 1,300 hotels and counting. So they'll be operating, but we remain heavily involved.
I understand. Thank you.
Happy to chat about the design. On the Starbucks, you're wondering, okay, 3 Starbucks within about a 9 iron of each other.
I've already accepted it.
Okay, this is a full-blown. What you were talking about is a drive-through only, and that store was built a couple of years ago in order to take the pressure off of the one right there at the turn. Within less than 6 months, both of those stores were operating at, the original store was already operating back at its initial capacity, and the other store was already maxed out. That said, this Starbucks is intended to augment or to help the hotel. As you know, having a lunch facility next to a hotel when everybody is leaving at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and they're starting to show up at 4 or 5 o'clock, a lunch facility or even a dinner facility isn't as attractive to a hotel as a breakfast facility. And another little fun fact that I shared with the mayor is that the first Dutch Brothers ever built was at Grants Pass in the grocery store parking lot of Grocery Outlet. And they are an advocate whenever we do a grocery outlet to do what we can to get a get a coffee shop. They obviously have an affection for Dutch Brothers, but Starbucks is fine. So, anyways, we're excited. We have our financing already in place. Our next steps are going to be to our team here, who's actually the ones in the trenches doing all the real work, to get into your planning department, your building department for permits, and get this thing under construction.
I might add that showing up like you are is important. It's the city. I get asked all the time, what's happening, when's it going to happen, and what have you. And there's a little bit of not as perfect news as I was hoping for on timing, but showed up. I'm wondering if sometime between now and that point, 6 months from now, you could come back and give us an update. Not just for me. I mean, most of the city is curious about this project and anxious and in happy anticipation is, I think, a good way to put it.
We'd love to. And I take it one step further. I know since the city's gone through this process, this RFP process, I've noticed comments from some of our other peers about how we're being handled up here and what the market is like. I understand some of our peers have been in contact with Dan Flores. So, this is part of a process where yes, we will come, but also take advantage of what you have going on here in your community to get the word out.
Are you up to speed on what's going on at the lake?
Yes. Well, I've
We're
read.
investing $3 million. Jim Shad, our city manager, is overseeing this project for the most part with a team that he's brought on board. But we have a grant that will take care of the North Lake and a little bit of work on the South Lake, which South Lake is the larger lake. And we are hungrily looking for grant funding so that we can finish that whole project, which will just add to that whole area.
Through the chair.
Sir.
Sir, you mentioned that the recent discovery of this 1911 map showed the natural slough of Ellis Lake on the east side of Highway 70 there, and you guys are going to do excavation for compaction?
Recompact the soil.
And so is that also going to slow down the other aspects of this project, not only the hotel, but like the restaurant and the
No,
grocery store?
we have to, looks like we have to dig about 10 feet, excavate over 10 feet for the whole site.
And that, I'd be interested in seeing that map, and I understand what you're talking about there, because we do have some natural drainage issues on the west side of the lake with residence houses and so forth. So
we have a geotechnical report that uncovered all of this. We're actually going to be out here, I think it's next week, with a, what do they call it? Where they actually x-ray all of the site.
Yeah.
Because of all of the historical uses that have occurred on the site. We have stumbled on more occasions than we would like, underground storage tanks and a lot of buried things. And so they'll be out there for a 4-day period going up and back, x-raying the entire site just to minimize any surprises that we have later.
Ground penetrating radars.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was your recent discovery says why you guys best case scenario might be in fall after you guys do all the groundbreaking and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's financing driven too.
Well, we have the heavy lift is undergrounding the utilities with PG&E, and that's how would you say less than cooperative party. It's not. There's nothing fast about this.
No, I'm familiar with PG&E on that one.
Yeah. And then the regional improvements that we're going to be doing is a replacement of the water line, the sewer line, and the storm drain. And those are regional in nature. They're not just for this particular site. So they're going to be for the benefit of most of those properties that are farther to the north of us, but they're going to have to be designed and engineered. And
yeah, I know you have a fire hydrant right in the middle of your plot right now that's going to have to be moved and all that kind of stuff. And I know the old sewer line. I know the underground infrastructure is going to take a bit to make things happen there. I actually lived on Chestnut Street, right next to the dollar store for like 4 years, and so I'm very familiar with that piece of land that you guys are developing. I'm very excited to see something happen there. So, thank you for answering at least my questions. That's all I got for now.
Any other questions or comments, Mr. Gilchrist?
Yes, hi. So I know I'm going to great job. I'm going to be preaching to the choir. But I'm going to make a few comments because it's important that our residents and those that have chimed in on social media understand why it is incredibly important to have an additional Starbucks in Marysville. First of all, Starbucks is an app-driven industry that works. People order their coffees well in advance, and they are told when the coffee is going to be ready. This is key for anyone who's in a hurry or driving through town. We don't have a Starbucks on 70, we only have them on 20. So this makes complete sense. It's also ideal because that's what the hotel wants, and the hotel should get what it wants. About the hotel, we're loving the outdoor patio and the event center. We are loving the laundry facilities, all of it. We, the council, I'm sure, I know I have been studying this project, all of the different phases, the previous designs. This is an amazing layout. Let's talk about color and concern about historic color and historic architecture. The city of Marysville has embraced modern architecture, and that too is historic. We have a lot of mid-century modern buildings that are really quite beautiful. Color. The color palette, I believe, is usually brand recognition. Isn't that correct? So usually colors of buildings are based on the corporation's brand identity. And so that is why a lot of buildings have specific colors. And it's good to see that this team has combined our historic elements, which is brick, and contemporary color, which kind of could be historic. That's all I'm going to say. I think this is an ideal project, and I'm very, very pleased with everything so far. I just wanted you to get started. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any of my other colleagues? Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Got all that. Comments and questions. I'll reread this. Then we'll put it to the council. Number 10, development plan review, use permit and design review application for the B Street Hotel and Commercial Center on the property bounded by 14th Street, B Street, 12th Street, and the railroad right-of-way, which you can hear right now. Recommendation, pass a motion to approve the Planning Commission's unanimously recommended development plan review, use permit, and design review application for the B Street Hotel and Commercial Center. What is the will of the council?
With excitement, enthusiasm, and joy, I would like to recommend to pass this motion.
We have a motion.
I will second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Noting none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I think yours was unanimous. Thank you very, very much. Okay. We'll see you in about 3 months for an update. If someone put it on his calendar. Put it on your calendar. Thank you. And thank you, Stephanie, the architect. Thanks. Trust him. Okay. Committee reports, comments, requests. Vice Mayor, we're going to go in reverse batting order. You first.
I have no committee reports. I am looking forward to the BOK-KAI coming up and participating in that. So I understand they're needing a little help, and I think we'd hopefully everybody will look into that to give them a hand with what they need.
Councilman Brad Hudson.
Well, I have no real committee reports at this time. I, too, am excited about the BOK-KAI. I have been asked by the community to help facilitate a rib cook contest on the Sunday thereafter. So I'll be sending out some invites for teams on that one here pretty soon, and rib cook-off. So we tried to do that last year, ran into some county health issues. I think we might have them figured out this year. So that's my assistance with that project, because, you know, I need more projects in my life. The other thing is that I believe I sent all you guys an email and a text in regards to the BMLC trip that's coming up in San Antonio, Texas.
Tell us more about that.
So last year I got to attend with the
what is it?
The Beale Military Liaison Committee. And so I got to participate and represent the city of Marysville. We went to Nellis and Creech Air Force Bases out of Las Vegas last year. And it was a phenomenal trip. And you learned a lot about Beale Air Force Base and how the Air Force is actually very integral to, you know, our country's protection and what they do locally and so forth. So Janie and Sammy Nall are the chair and co-chair, I believe, of the Beale Military Liaison Committee. They are creating another trip to San Antonio, Texas, which is, I can't remember the exact verbiage, it's like the gateway to something, and I feel inadequate right now. But anyway,
Yes,
so...
Joint Base San Antonio, yeah.
Yeah, so many representatives from the Yuba and the Sutter area do go to that, and it's out of your own pocket. But I represented the city of Marysville last year, and I had an exceptionally educational time, because we got to see Red Flag, the air school for the Air Force on that particular trip, and this one, I believe there's going to be a graduation. So I went last year. I would love to go again, but if somebody else in this council should see fit to participate, please contact the BMLC individuals, and if you forfeit, let me know. I will throw my name in the hat again. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dominic Belson.
Just want to reiterate how excited I am to see our B Street project moving forward. And it has been a long haul up to this point. I know that we still have to clear the summit, but it's good to see the progress and excited to keep things moving forward. Last couple of weeks, we've had some pretty tremendous storm activity, and so I want to give a big shout out. I hear sirens all the time going, and I know our public works guys have been putting in overtime. So a big thank you to our staff during those times. It's no fun to be out there in the weather and fighting the elements while things are going on. So big shout out to those guys. And that's it. Looking forward to our strategic planning in the future, near future. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Flores, quick question. The area that encompasses the Lake Bryant Field, the B Street property, all of that, have we got a name for that? We should, if we, we've got a nomination for.
We have a nomination for name. Yeah.
To the chair,
please.
May I answer that question? The city of Marysville, in, I believe it was 2016 or 13, did an extensive bounce back program, and it was given a name. The lake area is called.
We'll have to look into that.
What's that?
We'll have to look into that.
There is a name. There is a name for the lake area. It has a very specific name. Lakeview,
may I suggest it didn't stick?
Well,
we've been calling it the Outdoor Convention Center.
My suggestion.
Well, that's not enough.
During the bounce back, that's what it was classified as, the Lake District. That was it. There was no name beyond that.
Well,
we'll look it up.
I think we could come up with something a lot better.
I don't think it's stuck, and you know, marketing wise, I mean, that's a region, particularly with the hotel, and particularly if we can find the funding to get the entire lake done in the fashion that we're imagining. That is a region that is going to command a lot of respect, a lot of attention, and deserves a proper name.
To the chair, Mr. Mayor. And initially, historically, it was Ellis Park. The entire area was Ellis Park, with all of the little turreted homes, etc. In John McLaren's original plans, it's called Ellis Park.
Okay.
And it was sort of the community with all of the homes. The little northwest district is very similar to the district in Sacramento. The name escapes me. I'm having a senior moment.
Let's be thinking about something and talk to the interested parties, the developers, for example. They might have an idea. But that's going to be a focal point, big focal point. So that was my comment.
I have a comment. I have no comments, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I thought, did I miss
you? No, you did. You skipped over me and you went directly off to Mr. Flores. But I think maybe I've spoken enough today. No, you are perfectly. I accept your apology. And I have nothing to add other than I'm very proud of my city staff. Our city staff are doing an excellent job, Public Works, in handling all of the drainage and leaf issues. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
Not for this meeting, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. City Manager, I'll bet you've got something to share.
Just a couple of things. First of all, had a very good city Los Angeles. We had a very good managers conference down in Los Angeles, and I brought everyone a memento, a new pen for use at the dais.
Where was it held?
It was in what hotel was that in? It was in Hollywood.
Oh, so you weren't over at east part of downtown, which is just a...
we were right in the middle of Hollywood, right in front of all the stars.
The Hollywood and Vine, so that was the...
appropriate.
Renaissance.
There were quite a few... we had a very good discussion on some of the new legislation coming out from the state, and quite a few bills coming forth regarding tax initiatives that we'll want to focus on as we move forth with our Measure C replacement. The other item I have, just one more, with all the storms as of recent, we had damage to the traffic light on Ramirez and 10th. That rain actually destroyed the entire innards of that cabinet, which is quite old. So we have to purchase a new cabinet. I know our finance director's staff is working with the insurance company, our insurance company, to see if they will cover a major portion of that. And our public works director is working to secure a lead time on the cabinet itself. It could be a long lead time item, so we're looking at other ways of potentially, at least temporarily, getting it back up and running. We've received a few complaints from citizens, but that's where we're at. Once we get a lead time for the equipment, we'll be able to give a better answer as to when it'll be up and running again. And that was it.
That intersection, weekday afternoons, starting about 3 o'clock when people start bailing out of Beale Air Force Base. Even when the light's working, the line can extend all the way back to the racetrack. And so I'm wondering if we could get some police help to move the traffic, because everybody's stopping. I mean, that backup is going to go all the way into East Linda. It'll be that bad. And I don't know if that's happened yet, but has it been close?
I leave the college on a regular basis about the 4 o'clock hour, and it's at least a 35-minute trip on Simpson.
Yeah, one car at a time is just not going to get the job done. Anyway, okay. I get asked about that all the time. Let's see. Next regular meeting of Marysville City Council will be March 5th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We're adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties.